What is up, y'all? It is your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building for a brief recap of Tamar and Vince. This is season 5, episode 5. Pretty much the episode picks right off with Tamar. She keeps telling Vince that she's not the same person she was at 26, and she feels like bringing in another manager, would be the best thing. And she's saying this in front of her friends and his friends. Vince is acting passive-aggressive about this, saying stuff like, do what you want to do. And then he ends up stop talking because he feels like Tamar keeps cutting him off. And Tamar can tell that he's upset, and Vince keeps saying he's not upset. And it's making everybody at the table feel uncomfortable. Everybody's quiet and kind of sipping their drinks, looking at each other, looking down. Vince says that he knows his relationships and he knows the business of the entertainment world. He said people always comes back to Vincent Herbert. He even said, I'm Vincent motherfucking Herbert. I create superstars like Lady Gaga. Now, how long ago was Lady Gaga? I don't really hear nobody talking about her now, Vince. And you guys, I can pick up from how he is speaking. He has an ego. He has an ego. He's all about him. And yes, you are, Vince, good at what you do, but this should not get in the way of you listening to your wife. If he really loved his wife, if they were really in a healthy relationship, then he should be able to listen to her and hear, her concerns and her wanting to get out of this situation that is obviously affecting their marriage. This is not working for them anymore. It's very awkward when they talk about it in front of people. It's awkward when they are alone. He's not listening to her. He wants to control every damn thing. And I believe I already said that. Tamar kept saying how she wants to make the relationship work. This is for her son as well. And then, Tamar ends up telling Vince that change makes him uncomfortable. Vince walks off again, because he's just like, I can't get a word in. You won't let me make my point. If I don't say what you want me to say, then you get upset. And I feel like at this point, it's just embarrassing that he keeps walking off and they keep arguing in front of everybody. Okay, another thing I wanted to say something about is, Tamar, you need to keep that black hair in or them braids. You look really pretty like that. Get rid of all that blonde. That does not look good on you. You need to keep your hair either in the black hair or the braids. Looks really good on you. Okay, so next after that, Tamar sits down with EJ and James, and they just talk about how different it is for Tamar. Not how different, how difficult it is for Tamar, never getting a break from Vince. I believe it was EJ was saying that he saw Vince's point of nobody's going to do for Tamar what he would do, because he's her husband. He wouldn't be just thinking about the money. He would be thinking about her. But my thing is this, I disagree with that. At first, I was looking at it like that, but as this goes on, Vince is all about himself. And she made the right decision in trying to divorce him. And I actually hope that she goes through the process of divorcing him, because they are not going to work. He is not trying to listen. He wants to control everything. And Tamar, you motherfucking know that. Tamar tells James and EJ while she's talking to him that she just wants to be heard by Vince, and she feels basically that Vince wants to avoid this. He wants to avoid this issue. He wants to always put it on the back burner, and Vince just doesn't understand how she feels, and she's hurt and she's frustrated over this. So that's pretty much what she said to them. So next we got the Vince and Tamar meeting. Tamar tells Vince once again she wants to get another manager. That way she's not yelling at him all the time for things going wrong. And, at first it looked like he was kind of agreeing to that. They're always having to argue over things. He was kind of agreeing with that. Vince said he definitely feels that they argue too much. But they end up talking again, and Vince had made a comment like, well, I just feel like when things go wrong or they don't go the way that you feel they should go, you know, that's when there's pushback. That's when you begin arguing with me. And he ends up telling Tamar that she's hard to manage. And Tamar's just like, I am not hard to manage. I saw how his artists go off. Tamar, you go off too. Shit, bitch. Do you have a memory disorder? Because you do go off when shit ain't right. We've seen it several times. So, I don't know, you know, what she meant by that. Tamar pretty much comes to the conclusion that Vince just wants to control her. You know, and I think she realizes he just wants to sabotage her. Remember the shit that went off at the Rio? I'm looking at that differently now. She could have pissed him off, and he could be the reason she's not on that show. I thought that was just very strange that they fired her. And didn't she, like, wasn't he an executive producer? So it's just like, did she get fired from the shit she did or the shit he did? And I believe he knew they was gonna fire her and probably didn't tell her from the shit that I'm seeing, you guys, on the show with Vince. I have always liked Vince, but like I said, now I'm really seeing him for the controlling and abusive man that he is. He really does give me that. He gives me, oh, I got all this money. I'll treat my wife any kind of way. I ain't got to listen to her. I'm Vincent motherfucking Herbert. Who the fuck is anybody to tell me who I am? Like, that's what I get from him. And Tamar is, you know, I feel like it's clicking in her brain that she knows he wants to control her. But my issue with you, Tamar, is I noticed during this episode, you compromised yourself. You were willing to compromise yourself because Tamar and James sit down and talk. And she tells James that she's willing to quit music to save her marriage. Now, I don't know if you guys remember when she was on a Breakfast Club with that bullshit and making her way on the interview circuit, talking that bullshit about how she should quit music. This is for her family, all this bullshit. Girl, you just need a new manager. And if he's not going to be with it, you got to get rid of him, which is what you're doing now. So you're doing the right thing. You go have to divorce this man. Vince does not strike me as the type of person that cares about the love in a relationship. It looked like he did at one point, but it's all about control. It's all about control because if you really love your wife, you would want what's best for her. You would want to see her happy. And that's what would make her happy, a new manager. So all this pushback, all this passive aggressiveness that he does, all of this walking off from the table, all of this, oh, well, nobody will ever do for you what I'm willing to do for you. Like, all of that is control. That is not love. The common denominator in this relationship is control. And when they did Tamar's take, which is her little recap of what she thought of the episode, she pretty much said that. She was just like, you know what? He wants to control everything. And you know what? It's not just his fault. It's mine because I went along with it for a long time. So I really love the fact that Tamar is beginning to really see how she has played a part in this whole situation. Because yes, we can blame Vince and he's arrogant, controlling, egotistical, all of that. Most men I notice with a lot of money, they act like that. They don't have a humble foundation, you know. So yeah, that is who Vince is, but Tamar is really realizing, you know what? This is not right. So I don't know what's going to happen after this episode. I guess we will be leading up to the divorce somehow, some way. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much my take on the episode. It's just really sad to see all of this. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong. It's not boring at all, but really sad to see them going through this. All right, y'all, it's your girl, Brand New. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will check you guys out later.